Bill here. Today's question is, how much is palladium worth? So we're going to talk about that, but first let's discuss the numbers. It's been an up week for all four of the precious metals that we cover here. We have gold up 1%, which is good for gold. We got silver up 8% in a week's time. And we have platinum and palladium both up 4.6%. All the details are in the write-up. The one-year numbers are all good except for palladium, and it's off over 30%. But that's a good thing for us today as we discuss palladium. The question, how much is palladium worth, has a short answer and a long explanation. The short answer is, it depends. As we look at palladium, it's one of the most volatile precious metals that we have. And that's partly due to the rarity of the metal. It's the rarest of all four of the metals. And so the supply issues are a concern, and that's one reason why it's so volatile. The top producer is Russia. The number 2 producer for palladium is South Africa. Now Russia, the supply is in question not because there's any shortage in Russia of palladium, but because it's questionable whether or not the trading will be allowed to happen between Russia and the West. And of course the West has put sanctions on Russia, and we have the ongoing Ukraine conflict, and all these things are put in question how much palladium we can count on receiving from Russia. Now South Africa deals with a lot of local political instability, a lot of the electricity goes down, there's a lot of labor issues, just a lot of unstable conditions there in South Africa. So they have some local concerns that create a questionable amount of palladium for the rest of the world. That being said, both Russia and South Africa are part of the BRICS nations. And as you may be aware, the BRICS nations are currently trying to move further and further away from settling trades in dollars. And they're working on setting up their own trading mechanism. In fact, there's already a lot of trade going on between the BRICS nations outside the realm of the dollar. And so that further insulates the West from the 2 largest sources of palladium going forward. So we have that concern. We also have on a positive side that's a negative supply concern. There's a positive demand issue with palladium concerning fuel cell technology. Now we're most familiar with the electric vehicle concept, but there's a whole nother burgeoning industry out there of fuel cell technology that palladium will play a very important role in. So as this begins to move forward, it's a type of engine that there's very little pollution. The main pollutant is water, H2O. So as we move forward and everyone's trying to go green, fuel cell is going to be even possibly more impactful than electric vehicles. There's not enough capacity right now for the battery materials for the electric, but there are materials available for fuel cell technology. So we might see fuel cells leapfrog over the electric. And of course in gas and diesel engines, palladium is useful there in catalytic converters. So there's a future for palladium. So it's one of the most volatile and rare metals, and that's why the price today is approximately 34% lower than a year ago today. And from the peak price achieved in March of 2022, we're down 58%. And this puts the current price of palladium near the baseline price, the average price over the last 5 or 6 years. So palladium is a lot closer to its low than to its high. It's 58% off of its high, making it one of the best potential values of precious metals today. So if you haven't considered palladium, I encourage you to check it out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again soon.